WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. Columbus police arrest a man in connection with a weekend fatal shooting. Michael Geis is charged with manslaughter. He's accused of killing Otis Latham in the parking lot of the Holiday Inn Express early Sunday morning. Our Quentin Smith was there when Geis was read his charges today. He joins us live from the police department with the details. Quentin?
Yeah, Joey, Police Chief Fred Shelton says they're still trying to piece together exactly what happened. According to the chief, the victim and the suspect did not know one another. Shelton says Geis was in his vehicle in the hotel parking lot. Now police are turning their focus to that vehicle, which could be a key piece of evidence in this investigation.
With his head bowed, wearing handcuffs and shackles, Michael Geis was brought into this conference room where a judge read the manslaughter charge in the killing of Otis Latham. This is video from the scene of the shooting in the Holiday Inn Express parking lot over the weekend.
I can't go into all the details on what we used specifically to get the charge, but it was enough probable cause, enough evidence for a judge to sign a warrant for manslaughter.
Police Chief Fred Shelton says investigators don't know what the victim was doing at the hotel. However, he says Geis was in his vehicle in the parking lot and alleges he was trying to get a room. Shelton says police also want to know where the two men were when the gunfire started.
I don't know if he was in his vehicle or not. Right now, we're still processing the vehicle that Mr. Geis had and trying to find evidence that he was in this vehicle. We're looking for fingerprints and fibers and other things that we do to conclusively say that he was in his vehicle. Right now, we don't have that information.
Police are now waiting on a preliminary autopsy report, which could give a better idea about what happened.
What we're looking for, we'll examine his clothes real closely to look for trace evidence. We'll examine the wound pattern, see was it close range, when the bullet was fired, where the round actually killed, what actually caused the death.
Geis is expected to make his preliminary court appearance in August, but in the meantime, detectives will be searching for other pieces of evidence to back their case.
At this point, we don't have any physical evidence, neither we have any witness statements to corroborate what Mr. Geis said. So the only thing that's going to be able to speak to us, since Mr. Latham is not here, is the physical evidence. That's going to tell us where we're at.
Bond for Geis is set at $75,000. Shelton says the victim's body is expected to be sent to the state crime lab on tomorrow. That's the very latest from here in Columbus. Quentin Smith, WCBI News.
An arrest is made after an argument in the drive-thru of a fast food restaurant and an arrest is made after an argument in the drive-thru of a fast food restaurant ends in gunfire. 21-year-old Clinton Dozier is charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault. He's expected to make a court appearance this afternoon to have his bond set. The shooting happened the night of May 15th in the Cookout parking lot in Columbus. Investigators believe Dozier got into an argument with another driver, which led to the shooting. A Columbus man is accused of posting obscene pictures. 43-year-old Thomas Johnson Jr. is charged with posting messages electronically to cause injury. Columbus Police Chief Fred Shelton said Johnson was arrested yesterday. His bond has not been set and he remains in jail. No other information about the case is being released at this time. A man is injured after a four-wheeler crash this afternoon in Lowndes County. The accident happened on Lake Lowndes Road near Johnny Road. Witnesses tell WCBI the ATV was on top of the driver when they found him. Lowndes County volunteer firefighters, Baptist EMS, and Lowndes County deputies all arrived to help. We're told the driver did go to the hospital. The Sheriff's Department has not released any information about how the crash may have happened or the extent of the man's injuries. New at 6, city leaders in Columbus are talking about new regulations regarding the city's approach to dealing with COVID-19. It was last week when the city lifted the curfew. WCBI's Stephanie Poole joins us now live with the details. Stephanie.
That's right, Joey. Columbus Mayor Robert Smith and City Councilmen have approved a resolution for the city's COVID-19 regulation. Now, Mayor Smith says regulations will follow most of Governor Tate Reeves' order. However, board members are adding additional regulations for child care facilities and retail stores. Child care facilities are not to have a sick child dropped off. If a child sneezes or coughs, that child must be removed from the daycare until they are well. Retail stores must keep 6 feet markers on their floors for social distancing. All employees must wear a mask during the entirety of their shift. I will have a full list of these regulations coming up tonight for WCBI News 9 and 10. For now, reporting live in Columbus, Stephanie Poole, WCBI News.
It's been a warm and humid day out there. We have a mix of sun and clouds in the region. Not a lot of rain. There have been a few isolated showers around, but that will be few and far between this evening, it would appear. 87 degrees in downtown Columbus. A little bit of high overcast out there. It is warm and steamy, high humidity, giving a rise to heat indices, flirting with the low 90s. The actual temperature around Vernon at Durham's at 90 degrees right now. So we've got a good mix of 80s to around 90 degrees right now. This evening, let's just call it partly cloudy for a good chunk of the evening and the overnight hours. By 11, still mild, 74 degrees. We wake up to temperatures in the low 70s, probably around 7 o'clock. And tomorrow, upper 80s again. We will have a better opportunity for more scattered showers and storms in the region, a little bit more so than what we had out there today. So if you're looking for some rain to cool things down, tomorrow a better opportunity for that. We'll have your full 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
268 new confirmed cases of COVID-19. That's the latest number here in Mississippi. This brings the state's total to just over 16,000 cases. 28 deaths are also being reported today, including 1 death each in Chickasaw, Webster, and Yalobusha counties. 10 of those deaths are from death certificate investigations between May 6th through the 27th. A death in Chickasaw, Lee, and Union counties are each included in those investigations. Total deaths in the state stand at 767. The health department estimates about 11,000 people have recovered from the virus. As the daily COVID-19 numbers change, it's easy to forget behind each number is a person. Tonight, WCBI's Allie Martin introduces us to a man who is now in the recovered category, but his journey to overcome the virus was months in the making.
Members of West Jackson Street Baptist Church were excited when in-person services started back up recently, but perhaps none were as eager to get back into church as Ronald Carrazza. Like many, he had attended church services on March 8th, the last Sunday before the shutdown. But when he returned, he was a walking miracle, having survived a nearly fatal bout with COVID-19.
I knew something wasn't right.
The week after that last service, Carrazza became ill. He works in the furniture industry and travels for his job. After returning home from a trip, he was diagnosed with double pneumonia. His condition grew worse. He was put on a ventilator and tested positive for COVID-19.
I claim to be healthy as far as work, still exercising and stuff. It's a humbling experience, you know, laying in that bed, not being able to do anything.
The 61-year-old Tupelo man was on that ventilator under heavy sedation for nearly 3 weeks. And because of hospital restrictions, he couldn't have visitors. But there were other alternatives.
We would set up a time to FaceTime, and I would talk to him, even though he couldn't talk back. And, you know, I really believed that he could hear something.
After several setbacks, Carrazza went to Memphis to rehab. In all, he spent 58 days in the hospital. Although he lost track of time and more than 30 pounds, Carrazza quickly found out how many people were praying for him through social media.
I have been amazed, literally amazed, at people I don't even know that have prayed for me and have lifted me up. And it's just been awesome because I believe in the power of prayer.
Coming back to church has been refreshing and encouraging.
The fact that even though we go through trials and tribulations, we can use that to be better Christians and also to set an example, because we're not given that it's going to be easy. It's not going to be easy being Christians in a fallen world, but we can be more Christ-like.
Ronald Carrazza has returned to work and continues physical therapy, and while doctors encourage him to take it slow, he is taking every opportunity to share his story as an overcomer. In Tupelo, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Karatza's wife did get COVID-19 but had a much milder case. In other news, summer camps are making an adjustment to give students the best experience possible during the COVID-19 pandemic. Virtual summer camps will be the next obstacle for the Starkville-Oktibbeha Consolidated School District. So how are they managing to provide the best hands-on experience for students? Dr. Brandy Burton, Director of Innovation for the district, says there will be 4 summer learning opportunities for students.
We wanted to offer a type of fun experience. We pride ourselves with being able to do summer camps in Starkville. So we just tried to sit down and think how we could stay within all the rules, but also offer something fun for the kids that would be learning and engaging at the same time.
The application for summer camps at the district started today. You have until Friday to get your kids signed up. You can find out more information on our website, WCBI.com. Aberdeen voters go to the polls today. The coronavirus delayed the first election, but folks were ready to cast their ballot. The latest is coming up next.
You're watching WCBI's News at 6 with Joey Barnes.
Welcome back, everyone. A busy day in Aberdeen. The city holds its Democratic primary, the first round of local elections since the global coronavirus pandemic. Our Cash Matlock spent the day in Aberdeen and has more.
Here in Aberdeen, we are just minutes away from polls closing. Mayor, chief of police, and all 5 alderman seats are on the ballot, as well as positions on the Democratic Executive Committee. By 11 o'clock Tuesday morning, roughly 100 people had visited each voting precinct in the city. A good start, some say.
You know, I think historically I was reading somewhere where we only have about 2,000 folks vote. I think this is so important that we need everyone to come out and vote.
Voters are concerned with turnout, especially with the current coronavirus pandemic.
Aberdeen really needs some changes. A whole lot of changes need to be made in Aberdeen. And I think everybody needs to come out and vote for the right people that you know that are going to bring some changes, bring jobs, and bring a whole lot of other stuff to Aberdeen.
City leaders say they're doing everything they can to make things safe.
Here at City Hall, I think they're allowing 3 in at one time. Of course, social distancing, we're having people stand 6 feet apart. Some of the other precincts are a little bit smaller, so they're having to wait outside. Well, currently, we're asking everybody to wear a mask if they come to vote, and if they do not have them, we're giving those out. We're also giving out gloves. We're sanitizing the machines after every person votes. It is paper ballot, but if you have to touch the screen, they're cleaning those after each person votes.
Safety is a big concern, but so is the right to vote.
There's a lot of people who fought for this country for our right to vote, and I do encourage everybody to come and vote if they possibly can, because it is a privilege in the United States.
Aberdeen, please come out and vote.
Polls will close at 7 p.m. Reporting in Aberdeen, Cash Matlock, WCBI News.
Runoff elections will be held on June 16th, followed by the general election on July 7th. Well, certainly couldn't use weather as an excuse for not going out and voting today.
No, we were basically dry, pretty warm, pretty humid, summer-like. No major issues here tomorrow. Better chance for some scattered storms and showers here. Eupora, notice how we're back into the mid-80s. The rest of Webster County also mid-80s. A chance for scattered storms and rain. Your full forecast is next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Warm and steamy across our region on our Tuesday evening. Let's go out to downtown Tupelo right now, 88 degrees. Some high clouds out there. The wind is light. Hopefully you're staying cool out there today. 93, wow, look at that in downtown Louisville, Mississippi. That could be a little bit too high, but in general, we do have some warm temperatures across our region. We popped a few isolated showers earlier. Right now, we check out our live radar at 619. We really don't have a lot going on right now. Those isolated showers falling apart, but there's some rain in the region closer to the Gulf Coast, and we'll have some better opportunities for some rain and storms as we get into our day tomorrow. So let's check it out hour by hour this evening. Can't rule out an isolated shower or thunder shower, but most spots probably will not see it. Overnight lows officially in the upper 60s to around 70. We wake up to temperatures in many spots in the low 70s for the morning commute. By midday, pushing the mid 80s, and we'll start to bubble up some scattered showers and thunderstorms around here. More numerous activity expected during the afternoon and early evening hours tomorrow before that pulses down as we get into the overnight tomorrow night into our Thursday morning, and then we will likely see some additional showers and storms pop back up on our Thursday. Temperatures will really be dependent on where these storms happen to form. You may flirt with 90 and then get back into the 70s if these storms happen to pop up in your backyard over the coming days. Rain chances pretty high or elevated Wednesday, Thursday, dipping just a little bit for your weekend, and then they go back up early next week because we will be monitoring Tropical Storm Cristobal. This formed earlier today, a minimal storm down here in the southern Gulf of Mexico, swirling around, sustained wind at 40. It's going to be hanging out here for the next few days and then lift back to the north by Sunday, flirting with the Louisiana coast. Now, as we get into next week, the question is, what's going to happen with this? Still way too early to tell. The eastern side is usually the wetter, more active side of a tropical system. So if we remain on the eastern side of it, we may see an isolated tornado potential to develop around here at some point early next week, and maybe some heavy rain too, but that's just all up in the air right now. The other wild card factor will be a possible front that could actually push the center back to the west a little bit. We'll just wait and see how this all comes together. We have at least 5 days to watch it before it would be impacting our weather here. So we are throwing some tropical rain in the forecast for early next week just to get ready for the possibility of that. But in the near term, we do have some scattered storms and showers likely tomorrow, Thursday, into Friday, and a relatively quiet weekend before whatever happens next week. Joey?
All right, thanks, Keith. A couple of Diamond Dogs earning some national recognition. More on that next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Although the college baseball season is canceled, a pair of Mississippi State Bulldogs still finding their names in the headlines. Freshman pitchers Christian McLeod and Will Bednar landing on the Collegiate Baseball newspaper's All-American list. McLeod was named Co-National Freshman Player of the Year and Bednar named to the Freshman All-America squad. McLeod is the third Diamond Dog to ever earn the honor. The W has officially named a new head softball coach. Charles Buddy Foster officially takes over the Owls program. Foster joins MUW after leading Greenville University for the last 4 seasons. During that time, Foster's team finished second in the conference's regular season the last 3 seasons and securing 2 SLIAC tournament championships. Another high school football coaching change coming down the pipe just hours ago, and this one is rather familiar. First reported by Brad Locke of the Daily Journal, former East Union head coach Kevin Walton has left his new position with East Webster. Walton led East Union for the last 5 seasons, finding success in each one. Under Walton, the Urchins have made 5 consecutive playoff appearances and back-to-back division titles in 2018 and 2019, finishing with a 35-24 overall record. Walton leaves to take an assistant position with Itawamba AHS. He had left the job with the Urchins in April to become the offensive coordinator for the Wolverines. Baseball makes its return to Northeast Mississippi this weekend. Here's a look at the weekend lineup for games for the Tupelo 49ers. Catch games at 5:30 and 7:30. On Friday, the Tupelo Junior 49ers versus the Junior North Mississippi Indians, followed by the Senior Tupelo 49ers against the Pontotoc Red Sox. Followed on Saturday with games at 1:03, 5:30, and 8 p.m. And then those followed on Sunday with games at 1:30 and 3:30. That's it for sports. We'll have more for you when we come back. Stay with us.
Calling all runners. Tomorrow is Global Running Day. Keith, this is all you. The event is a worldwide effort to encourage people to get outdoors and exercise. The event promotes physical fitness among all age groups, including the kiddos. Tupelo runners are taking part and will meet tomorrow morning to hit the pavement and recognize 150 years of the All-America City. The Tupelo group will meet at 5:30 in the morning by the huge 150 display at Fair Park.
We are celebrating Tupelo's 150 years, and we're going to try to run 150 miles collectively between all the runners that participate tomorrow. Purpose is just to celebrate runners across the world. While there's not much else we have been able to do in the recent months, running was never canceled, so that's something that we can always enjoy.
All right, the Tupelo group will meet at 5:30 again at 5:30 in the morning. If you're up that early and Ready to exercise. Keith, do you wake up that early to go exercise?
Well, you have to be up at 5:30 in the morning right now to exercise. I've actually been getting up early this past weekend. I was setting my alarm for about 5:30 to force myself to get up because you want to get that exercise done before it gets really steamy. And by 8 o'clock right now, with the sun coming on up, you just know how hot and humid it is. So take advantage of those quiet mornings, Joey, but you know, just do your best.
Exactly.
You'll be sweating regardless.
It's June in Mississippi and Alabama. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Have a great night.